pretty good, I think. My little thing set up here. A little wire wheel. Drill's not hot at all. I mean, I don't think it'll handle a whole lot of torque, but I got this piece of metal. I got these 3 pieces of metal this week. I'm going to use them for my sacrificial metal for my electrolysis. And they were all 3 of them kind of rusted up pretty good. And they cleaned them on up pretty decent. I had a buddy of mine that I used to work with years ago. He saw my electrolysis video and he was telling me some of the things that I was doing that wasn't really right. So, not that it was wrong, it just wasn't right. So, he gave me a couple ideas and stuff and told me some stuff I could go buy. Well, the whole idea is to try to do it with stuff that I already had around the house. So instead of going and buying anything, I'm just gonna, I saw some more videos on how to do it, and there are plenty of them out there. And one of the things I'm not doing right, I don't think I'm grounding these pieces right. You can't just wrap it around there. Plus I'm using copper, and copper will oxidize and turn that green color, you know. If you don't believe it, just look at a funky penny that's been around in water, or the Statue of Liberty. It's made of copper, and that's the reason it's turned green, is because it's just oxidized. So I'm gonna drill holes in these 3 pieces and run my wire through it and tighten it up real good. And I'm gonna have it around the bucket. I thought my bucket was too big, and it still may be too big. But with these 3 pieces in there, instead of that just like one little piece of ruler that I had, instead of that piece, I'll use these 3 pieces. I'll be honest with you, I checked them when I first came back out here. They've just been sitting in the OxyClean water for all week long since last weekend, and they're not bad. I'll be honest with you, they're pretty good. But we're gonna check this out. I got plenty of rusted stuff up here we can check out. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drill the holes in this, and I probably won't start doing it tonight on this video, but probably continue it up tomorrow sometime. But y'all never know it, because it'll be just in the blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. Alright. The pieces that I had put in there are pieces that I had tried before, so they weren't too terribly rusty. But this file, rusty. I even think it's bent. Is it bent? I don't know, maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. It looks bent. Maybe not. Maybe a little bent. Anyway, I'm gonna use it. If I don't use it for nothing else, just get the rust off. See how well this works, because I know this joker here is rusty. Alright, y'all, I couldn't be very much happier with this electrolysis than I am. I mean, this is so cool. Before I had these things, they would open just a little bit, and he had to really work stuff. I mean, you really had to, you know, work it pretty good. And now look at it. It didn't get all the 100% of the rust off. Of course, I only had it in there about an hour and a half today. And I'm not sure how much of this rust removal was from the time before where I was messing with it and this time. But at the very least, if I did nothing else to it, it's a workable tool now. Whereas before it was a hunk of metal shaped like a workable tool. But the where you at, screw? The adjustment bolt right here works fine. It's got some welding slag on it, you know, because I'm sure he used it. My father-in-law used it for, and like most other people who weld, used it to hold a piece of metal down so he could weld, and, you know, got splatter on it some. There's no way that I could fully restore this to brand new. For one thing, I'd have to knock out all these pins and find the right pins to go back in them, and that would be kind of a mess. All I really wanted to do is get to where I could use it if I needed it for anything, and kind of clean it up a little bit. but that's the pair of vice grips. Well, I'm still gonna, you're still gonna have to scrub on. I don't care what you do. But I'm gonna kind of scrub it up, try to clean some of the slag off, and I'm gonna soak it in oil. Let it set in oil for a good little while, and we'll be good for there. All right, the next thing that I did was the wrench. I can now tell that this is an 11/16, and this end is a 5/8. See that? Oh, how about like that? You now see that? Backside, I don't think the backside is so much rusty as it is just the patina has wore off the whatever they played it with. I think that's kind of wore off. I think that's what that is. But as far as rust, there's still some rust down here, inside the box end part right here. But that can be cleaned up pretty easy with a wire brush. I mean, bam! There we go. I'm really tickled with this. Thanks to Brad. Brad's the one that gave me the idea, that telling me that I needed to use a bigger, better battery charger. And that, oh no, my screwdriver fell over. And that the more bubbles means it's working. All right. The file that I had, what did I do with the file? The file's still pretty rusty because it's only been in there for about 45 minutes. It's still rusty, especially that side there. But we're gonna put it back in here. Next chance I have to spend some more time outside here, which I'm hoping this evening, I'll turn it back on, plug it in, and see if I can't get some of that rust off of that file. But I'm really kind of tickled. I think this works out pretty good, because I got a whole bucket full of rusty tools. Well, not a whole bucket full, but close. Close. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon. Put this away, so you know whenever we post a new video. All right. If I see something else pretty neat, I'll stop and I'll add it and do whatever I need to. But I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks. That's all I got. Okay, here's the finished product. After running on my wire wheel for a little bit, got any kind of residue or anything else that was on there. Missed a little spot right there. But I got it oiled up. That screw goes in, that tightening screw goes in. Everything is clean and oiled. And it's definitely usable now. It's mostly used by welders, and my father-in-law, he was a big welder. He was a good welder, actually, pretty good. So I removed some of the slag, some of the splatter, that welding splatter that was on the sides of it. You can probably tell right there. I didn't really want to completely restore it because I don't have the pins here. But I got it to where it's usable now, at the very least. I can use it. Like I said, this is the biggest thing right here. Because, man, I couldn't even turn that thing. I couldn't even turn that screw before. I had to put my pliers on it just to get it out. So, it's definitely in a usable state now. I'm kind of happy with that. Here's the finished product on the screwdriver. Right there. I think that turned out pretty doggone good myself. What in the crap are these idiots doing? What are you doing? Go get a job. If I'm going to tear stuff up, y'all going to have to start paying for it now. So, go get a job. Anyway, this and this is an original pair of vise grips. Where's it say it at? Vise grips. So anyway, it's definitely usable. I'm kind of happy with that. The electrolysis got a lot of rust off, and I was able to just kind of brush running underneath a wire wheel to kind of get what it didn't get off. The little bit that it didn't get off, I was able to get it off with the wire wheel, and like I said, that looks pretty good. I'm kind of happy with it. Oh, let me show you this. This is a gun right here. This looks like I'm like I say, it looks brand new, but 11/16, 5/8. I couldn't read that before I started the electrolysis. Electrolysis got a lot of the rust off, and again, I had to go through and kind of get where the electrolysis didn't get off. But kind of real pleased with that as well. That looks pretty good, I have to say. What else? What else was the file? I'm gonna have to put it back in there for an extended time. It's rusted up pretty good. Well, these two are the first two pieces that I put on there, and I'm kind of happy with those, so I'm kind of glad with that. So we'll see how the rest of it goes, okay?